We are a couple of years old. We are a small startup. We sell luxury lingerie. It's all small batch, limited edition, made in New York. The pieces are designed to be a creative muse for you, both in the bedroom and out on the streets. So we do your traditional, say, like bras and underwear, but we also do like bodysuits and play pieces and things that help you explore how you dress out in the wild, and then also sensuality in the bedroom. So unique textures, unique harnesses, hooks, playthings, that type of thing.
All right, fantastic, thank you. And so what we do is we're going to first look at a homepage. We're going to look at a product detail page, and we're going to look at a collections page. We've picked this out in advance, so everybody, this is going to be safe for work, even though we know this is a lingerie edgy website. A couple things on the homepage. I'm going to just scroll down, and I would love for Dan to tell me, I'm curious what you're thinking about the motion on the homepage.
Yeah, for sure. I do like the parallax. I like the motion. Definitely very modern. It's clearly a little bit more like, I guess, like brand and fashion forward. Obviously, I can't speak to this product personally, so it's hard to I think some of the best insights in general come from just being like really in tune with the consumer, which in this case I'm frankly not. But one thing I did notice is that banner at the top is just kind of rotating the same redundant text. So I'd consider making that fixed. We might not need to have the motion there. I like the navigation though. I think that it's like really well done. I think, just because you're able to keep that video, like if you had a different menu layout, I could see that video kind of being cut below the fold. So I do like how you have everything structured layout wise.
Awesome. And what about you, Steve? What do you think about the content so far on, Stacy has told us that this is lingerie, and I'm wondering what your thoughts are on all this copy and how it's playing to maybe net new traffic. You're on mute.
Yep, sorry about that. I think Stacy's intro and her like first like 30-second pitch about the brand was a little bit more informative than maybe what I'm seeing currently right now on the website, because I want to just be hit in the face with exactly what you guys are doing, who you are. I've even, when I'm looking at your guys' Instagram account, it looks really good. You guys are focusing on video and reels, high production stuff, which is great. You guys have some UGC and everything like that. But you, even in your Instagram profile, you're specifically calling out that you guys are small batch, that you are, well, basically exactly what you said, right? Limited edition, micro quantities, made in New York City for experienced hunters and things like that. So I think that I would want to make that very clear on the homepage as well, just so that as soon as people land on the page that they have like a cohesive experience.
I agree with that. Honestly, when I take a look at it, and I'm also going to move into a mobile environment, because especially when you're new, a lot of times you are attracting people via mobile. And so, one thing that it took me a minute, actually it took me talking to Stacy to understand that this actually was dressing for lingerie. So I think at first I thought, oh, power suits. Like I'm a female founder. That's exactly where my mind went. And I know that, it's your homepage and you're kind of dancing this like dance between lingerie and power moves and sort of like, flirting with like a BDSM sort of audience, but it wasn't clear, like that piece, the small batch made in New York, high-end lingerie is the communication that I was missing. So like level up your power suit. And also Craig Sullivan is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Like, do you know who Craig Sullivan is? Craig actually has some comments in here that I want to pay attention to, which is talking about load times on your site. So what do we have here? Craig, you're fully welcome. This is a community. You're fully welcome to come off mute if you want to talk about what you're seeing on the video. Otherwise, you're fine staying off camera. But Craig has a very good point here, which is the video is going to be hard on CPU, and your CTAs are a little bit maybe diminutive here. So it's amazing how sometimes you can see just how a button will change as well. Like here, for example, we've seen this free shipping. You can see your ticker that you have up here. Very normal Shopify feature that we have on the site. But sometimes like, is it clickable? That and it looks like, yes, it is. But sometimes just the difference between having something that looks like a button, that's like a subconscious shortcut to know that that's something that you can click on. And load times on sites, especially with video like this, does have a tendency to slow down your actual loading of the web page. So thinking about a way to, I know that you've gone very heavy on brand here, but thinking about a way to increase the speed of the load of this page will also help.
I'll just throw it out there. I haven't inspected the website, but are those GIFs below the page? Or are those actual videos when you scroll down?
Here?
Yeah.
That's a video.
Okay. Yeah, one thing that could like give you that same motion, but reduce the load time dramatically is just using GIFs. So that would be something to explore. And then I love the idea, like everything that Stefan said was around small batch New York. I think that would be great to test like right underneath that hero banner, because it seems like you have some space that's still like above the fold. So that would be something to kind of test, kind of like, yeah, like those like value propositions.
Great, thank you.
Sure. All right, let's take a quick look at a product detail page as well, and as well as a collections page. So we're first going to go into I believe, what do we say, that a safe product, bodysuits, right? So I'm going to share this tab. Very common for your site. This is, I think, if you feel like sharing your Shopify theme, let us know. But very common for you to have. I mean, this is a pretty standard template. I would say that one thing that I do notice that you have a shop all bodysuits, bras and tops, panty sets, and accessories. Is just what I see in the data oftentimes is that people will directly choose left to right. So bodysuits will probably be one of your top pages. I'm just making an assumption from data that we've seen before. So if somebody's new to the brand, since you're starting out, and we're going to click shop all, click bodysuits. What do you think we should be communicating here, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, and a really quick win right here from an SEO perspective is just adding some content to this collections page. You're going to want to do that to every collections page. Everybody on this call could be doing this on their website, or just checking to see if they have the right content on their collection pages. The collection pages are what is typically going to rank. You could potentially get some of the products ranked, but it's going to be much harder, and they're much more like long tail searches. But if bodysuits is something that you would assume or would like your customers to be searching, we need to give Google, the LLMs, whatever it might be, a little bit more context about the page.
And what kind of context are you talking about when you say that? Can you be a little bit specific about what content belongs here?
Yeah, we're just going to try, everything that has to do with content and Google, it just has to be about, EEAT, which is, you guys may have heard this or may have not, but it's just expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness, and experience. Sorry, that's EEAT. It's just the basis of literally everything in Google, and everything that we should be thinking about as we create any sort of content that's written, videos, images, whatever. Are we creating value and adding value to for the customers? And are we really explaining what is on the page and what we're looking at? So just kind of remember that some of these like LLMs or the search engines, they're not viewing this page the way that we are. They're just looking at the metadata, the text on the page, the H1s, descriptions, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, we would really just take a look at where the search volume is, maybe what kind of searches we want to show up for in AI search results, what the SERP looks like for this type of landscape. And then we kind of like work our way backwards to optimize to make sure that this page or a page like this would show up.
Yeah. And Dan, I have questions for you about also, hero images on like, I find that repetition works really well when you have like from a home page to another page, just to help the user orient on here's where I am now on the site. Like, what are your thoughts? Because I think that I've seen it done lots of different ways. A hero on a collections page, a hero down below, merchandising components. What is your gut tell you about this?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think for a premium product like this, communicating your value propositions to kind of like partially justify the prices and the appeal is, I mean, there's only upside to doing that. So I love the idea of having some repetition. It's possible even like maybe that rotating banner at the top is a decent place to test like having those value props. But in general, yeah, I like the idea of having an additional call, because you don't know if they're even going to view the homepage or if you're going to be sending, folks directly to this page, whether it's through paid social or organic. And I do want to second what Steven said. Yeah, the name of the game is definitely EEAT. Like that's my favorite acronym. As a web strategist, like conversion optimization is very closely tied with SEO and LLM and visibility. So that's the name of the game. And I think just again, for everyone on this call, you need the difference between traditional SEO content, which was just like very structured and rigid and like keyword stuffed. The difference now is you need to write content that's answer ready. So look up the term semantic or compare semantic content versus like traditional SEO, and you want your content to be answering questions. So if people are wanting to understand the difference between a certain material versus another material, like structure your content to answer that question directly. And then your brand will ideally show up as LLMs are beginning to become the norm for search. So FAQs should be everywhere. Adding content on this page will also help traditional SEO too, because like the first thing that Google will see is like, okay, there's a ton of HTML and no context, therefore, or no content. So you'll have a low content to HTML ratio and it'll get dinged. That's a pretty big signal on like a page level. So I know there's a little bit of a side rant on SEO, but I love the idea of the continuation media for sure.
Yeah, well, they definitely go together. I mean, SEO and, we have seen since May, ChatGPT referrals to websites go up significantly across the board, across all e-commerce, across all industries. And not only do we see that increase, but we also see that the users who are coming from there have a tendency to double their conversion rate for the whole site. And my hypothesis now, and like we're all just starting, so we don't really know, but my hypothesis right now is they've pre-qualified themselves before even getting to the site. And that's honestly, Stacey, one of the things that I think about when I look at your content is that you can see here that you've got champagne room 33, lace-up bodysuit, convertible silk lingerie. And is that a premium enough way to talk about your products? And is it simple enough to? So like, there's like, you're dancing the line between balancing your brand and what is instantly recognizable as information. Does that make sense? Like, I think these like luxury sheer feral black catsuit romper. This is also safe for work, everybody. Like we're looking at the content and what is both, how are we communicating both to humans and to and to bots. And so I'm going to just take a look down here to see, what some of this information says down here. Dominate the day, own the night, your new power flex, but make it fashion. Meet your fiercest new statement piece, the luxury sheer catsuit romper. I don't know. I think this is incredibly informative. I wonder, are these, what are your, this speaks to me. The other thing that I noticed though, is that it is very content heavy. And so I think that there is like a dance between how much content we want and is it scannable? Is it how people behave on a mobile device, right? Like who reads this much copy?
You could always restructure that into FAQs too, which is also great for LLMs because they're going to want to, they're getting more content or context around the questions being asked and then your answers. Further supports the expertise and trustworthiness, and then also suppresses the content into something that's like an accordion style content, which can then be maybe a little bit better for the user experience.
Interesting. So the whole body copy would just be an FAQ, just structured like a question answer?
Well, can you actually just like scroll up? Let's just like look at that whole thing again. But some of the content, yeah, at the bottom can always be like a TLDR version, kind of, especially if it's repetitive content on multiple pages.
Okay.
I think also one thing I would consider is almost like a blatant call of like who this is for. Like, I mean, I don't know if it's exactly fitting for this specific product or not, but I've just seen that work really well. It's like, oh, this is for you if kind of like that type of content. Just like to be like super clear and direct, because, you know, especially for a price point like this, it's possible people are shopping around considering, you know, their options, that sort of thing. And just to be like really direct, like, yeah, this is for you if you like this, this, and this. And if you value that, that, and that. But I think just what Stephen was getting at was like, I think having like product details in bullet points is very normal. So I wouldn't want to deviate from that. But I think, yeah, like collapsing what you can and structuring it into FAQs that are already in an accordion are going to be very like LLM friendly, but also not like forcing people to read text on the page.
Okay. Yeah, one of the things to consider is these words like cognitive load. The cognitive load of lots of paragraphs in a mobile environment is high. And so by structuring it in an FAQ format or some other format that is scannable, it allows like these mental shortcuts to say, oh, what do I care about? Like maybe they care about that it is designer Italian jersey. Maybe they care more about, you know, how it functions because they've got some ideas for the bedroom, right? Like, so it really matters what she's here and how she's deciding. And an FAQ not only is good for AI and SEO, but also good for her to be able to be like, okay, let me just quickly open the things that I care about and take that mental shortcut.